Chapter 1. Accepted. But anything's acceptable? Nobody could have been more shocked than I was that I'd come to follow Jesus Christ. Plenty of my friends thought I'd simply done so much dope, I'd fried my brain and was off on a spiritual trip in flipped-out imagination land. Guy's full of acid and ain't coming back. I didn't blame them for thinking that, nor did I blame a fair number of them for thinking I was now a royal pain to be around, because I'd often turn a conversation into discussing Jesus, the good news, and began moving away from my old habits and lifestyle, much of that which then became a conflict of interest between us. Playing in bands became more of a burden than a joy, because as a lifelong musician, people expected me to sing whatever lyrics were in the cover song at the time. I began having a hard time singing stuff I didn't believe or disagreed with. And I began to read the Bible daily, pray about things, and really started to consider what I believed was actually true. My songwriting changed, not so much in terms of sound, but lyrics. And of course, as Jesus said, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Therefore, issues of spirituality and faith started popping up in my work, both as I sang with other bands or in a band or two I actually led. This continued as I did a bit of solo folk singing around Milwaukee, where I was living at the time. One day, driving along in a rental truck with a bandmate, a guitarist friend, he suddenly turned and asked, "What's up with you?" I replied, "What do you mean?" He went on, "You ain't cussed in about 2 weeks. What's going on?" I got a little nervous and then laughed a bit because I hadn't noticed the change, and we hung out a lot. I'd F this and GD that all the time when with friends. It was just typical. He'd noticed that wasn't happening. I turned to him and said, "Well, I've started to follow Jesus, and I guess that's it." He about drove the truck off the road. So there you go. An early indication that some change had come, and I hadn't even realized it. After addictive habits had ruled my life for years, the grace of being delivered, not only from swearing like a pirate, but far larger issues of chemical drug abuse, was instantaneous and quite a miracle. Studying the Bible daily, usually about 10 slowly read chapters worth, the Lord began to bring healing to my mind and peace to my soul like I'd never known prior. It was both surprising as well as apparent how much better I began to feel. I was still an 18-year-old singer, guitarist, playing in blues and rock bands in search of sweet, pretty girls, and met several. I moved in with one for a while after I had come to saving faith in Jesus. Sex was a continual, nagging issue, and the more I read Scripture, the more I realized God had plans for me, but it would be marriage. I needed to truly surrender rather than act out every urge. My desire for foreplay and release with another was huge and often just off the charts. Worse, several girls I knew were quite willing. One was not only beautiful, but super sweet and kind, but she wasn't following Jesus, nor did I have any intention of marrying her or anyone else. But hey, I even took her on a date to check out the first full-on Christian band I'd ever had the chance to see.